Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Bado tuko kanisani. Tuko kanisani. I knew this was likely to happen, Bishop, and I remember telling you, utatusamehe. Tuko wengi. So that next time ukitaka kutualika, huo nafikiria twice. The late Ukicheza angesema kumekuja. Tumekuja, but to worship God. We come with all humility and thank God for the word that we have heard from our Tanzanian brother. Askofu nilikuwa akiongea pale, anasema mjukuu wake na mtoto wake wa kwanza 43 years old. Wajukuu 9. Nikamwangalia, he looks 40. I had to ask him, ulizaliwa lini askofu? God's, as they say, God's grace has been more than sufficient for you. Peleka tena salamu zetu kwa Watanzania. Wangapi anamtuma tena apeleke salamu zetu? Asante. Kuna ujumbe fulani lakini nyamaza tu kidogo. Nyamaza tu kidogo na utulie. Tuko kanisani, tulia. I want to introduce two friends who are not from the leadership of political formation, lakini watu wa ajabu. They are very much close to Senator Agnes Kavindu, who is herself a prophetess. She's never afraid of that. I just want to recognize our brother Apostle Collins Mutembei. Bishop Obonyo, you may be interested to know some, because this is not about Kenyan political leadership. It's about, please don't stand. You make me almost tremble. I want you to know that some members of the clergy have actually been demonstrating with other Kenyans. And the example is Collins Mutembei, Apostle Collins Mutembei, and our sister Leah Nyambura. She's AKA Overflow, Prophetess Overflow. She looks like she's overflowing with grace. The only difference between Collins and Overflow was when you were tear gas in Mathare, Overflow did not know how to duck the tear gas. Collins was able to mingle in and wriggle out. We want you to know that men of great faith and mission have looked at what has been doing in terms of taking risk as Kenyans. So it is not just it's not just Azimio, ni Kenyans. Naomba tu niseme kwamba and I want to suggest perhaps the music team, I'll do this if you don't mind. It's good that Wi-Fi is perfect here. Google the words. Yeah, because I want us to really sing after my small presentation. Stand up for Jesus. Please Google that, because I'll be asking us to sing. Because we're also celebrating 20 years. Bishop Obonyo, this is our celebration, standing for Jesus. Because men and women have been standing for themselves. And so, God in His wisdom, through some songwriters, did that amazing, and I want you to look at the lyrics. The lyrics, stand up for Jesus. I will lead in the singing. I love singing. But before that, Psalms 21, verse 11. Though they plan evil against you, though they devise mischief, they will not succeed, for you will put them to flight. You will aim at their faces with your bows. This is, again, a celebratory message from the writer of Psalms. And sometimes it was King David himself, as you know, the great man to whom you referred. Now, Apostle or Bishop Obonyo, you have great memory. In your printed program, I think you have met with the leadership of this country. I've seen you have met with immediate former President Uhuru Kenyatta. I see you met with my brother Raila ODINGA. And I think you came to my office. It must have been when I was in the Foreign Office, I think, 23 years ago, 20 years ago, after the 202 most democratic elections in our country. Kumbukeni wakati Raila alisema, kasema Kibaki si anatosha. That's when I went in as Foreign Minister in 2003, and I think that's when you came to my office and we gave you our blessings. 20 years ago, you have seen the young men who came dancing. They beat Mawadhe completely at it. I mean, and you, Bishop, and I, because these are the millennials, and they are very flexible. And so, wonderful men and women, products of great faith and mission, a sense of mission. So I congratulate you, Bishop Obonyo and Mama, and the congregation. We have even seen that Kano Rasanga, I think when last we came here, Kano Rasanga was with us. Great testimony that you prayed for him, you really helped him in so many ways, became Governor Siaya, and he did his 10 years. So when we come, like we have come today, we come with great humility. And we know right now there are lots of doubts in the minds of Kenyans as a result of what happened at Shakahola. Kenyans are asking simple questions. Is it true? Is it that there are men and women misusing the name of God? Is it cults or what? I want to remind you, when you came to house number 100 Southland, you really know me. By the way, I bring you greetings from my wife Pauline. Continue to pray for her, so that again, God will heal her in his time. It was then, I think I was Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. And no, I think either that or I was practicing law from my offices in Church House, near the former American Embassy, opposite there. And I was also doing work with the Scripture Union. And I registered Redeemed Gospel Church. Since you are sent by Archbishop Kitonga, you must have been bringing those papers, so that I registered Redeemed Gospel Church. I'm happy that I did not register a cult. Please give me a clap. I also registered Crisco. When I saw Apostle Das, and he came in with a friend who looked like from Guyana, I remembered the story of Jim Jones, a person who led a cult and got people to drink poison and they died. Pretty much like Shakahola. We must ask ourselves these basic questions. Mama Ida Odinga asked a question. Now she said, don't you think we need to regulate? Now that time I think has come. And I want to challenge the church, the mainland church, to be able to do something about not hindering the freedom of worship, because that you can't. It is written in our constitution. You cannot. And so I want to tell you that even those cults, so to speak, if they are worshiping, you may find it difficult to stop them. But one thing, the government is not a cult. We have police, instead of chasing Wandai and us, issuing instructions. And I'm going to comment on that, unfortunately, because we're all the same, Bishop. So I'd rather we pour it before you. Tukitoka hapa uombe ukijua hawa kina Martha na Kalonzo na Kioni na kina Wandai ni watu sampli gani. Because our hearts are hurting, and not just us, all Kenyans. So you ask yourselves, in Kilifi, where this thing happened, there is a chief, assistant chief, now of course intelligence, the whole government network. I don't think it is enough, my learned junior brother Kindiki, to just have gone there and said, I'm changing. There's something basically wrong. This has taken a very long time to happen. It did not just happen. So somehow, as Wandai was quoted today saying, if in a functioning government, this cannot happen. So that we don't end up saying a cult, somebody worshipping God upside down, is guaranteed under the Constitution, but they are not allowed to take lives. They are not allowed to take lives, because that becomes something else. So I just wanted to comment to that extent on what has clearly been happening, and we wish you well. May your next 20 years bring with them tremendous soul harvesting and growth. Mother blessed your office. You said, oh, forgive my small office. And she said, utabarikiwa mpaka ushangae. This congregation will grow. We may not come every day, as you said, every Sunday, but once in a year we can come. You notice when I came, I said, hey, Bishop, hamujaenda sana. Next time we come, we want to worship not under the tent, but in there, in God's name. So, the next 20 years, if our Lord tarries, na vile askofu kutoka Tanzania alihubiri, mimi nilifurahi sana. Yaani watu wanapatwa na shida, mpaka mtu anasema, Yesu kuja, na kuja wewe mwenyewe usitumane. There are songs to that effect. Usitume mtu, kuja wewe mwenyewe. And of course you take his time, because he's God. So, as long as he doesn't come quickly, we'll do our best. Mkora alionekana ameiba akapata pesa nyingi zaidi, alafu akaambiwa akahubiriwa the gospel of salvation, akasema okoka. Akasema jameni, yani unasema Yesu anakuja, kwa nini hakuja wakati nilikuwa maskini, nao nimepata mali? So all kinds of things, but these are holy jokes. I've just finished reading a book called Spare. No, I'm just going to finish it today. In fact, I read it up to 4 o'clock this morning. Spare is talk about the British monarchy. Prince Harold, Duke of Sussex, who now lives somewhere in California because he had to flee. Because of so much, just because he got married to an African. Waingereza wakaona sasa naharibu mambo ya urithi, all that. Beautiful reading, and it's a big book. But yesterday I read to a place where alienda kumuona a famous British musician called Elton John. How many of you have heard of Elton John? How many of you know that Elton John is gay? Ah, okay. Yeah. So the young man in his writing says he went to meet Elton John in France with his family. And they said he met him with his husband. Now, those words are still ringing in my mind. So when God created man, you know, there was that creation, I think in the spiritual and then the physical. When he created them, man and woman. I don't want to delve into that big area of divinity and theology. But there's a lot happening in the world today. Wacha nikamilishe kwa kusema yafuatayo. And I hope mmepata wimbo. Stand up for Jesus. Ye soldiers of the cross. Allow me to also just lead you through. I promise to lead you. Wow. Another thing. The lyrics, stand up, I'll read them. Stand up for Jesus, ye soldiers of the cross. Lift high his royal banner, it must not suffer loss. From victory unto victory, his army shall he lead, till every foe is vanquished, and Christ is Lord indeed. Stand up for Jesus. Stand in his strength alone. The arm of flesh will fail you. Ye dare not trust your own. Put on the full gospel. Put on the gospel armor, as in Ephesians 6:10. Putting on the full armor of God. Each piece put on with prayer. Where duty, I love this. Where duty calls or danger, be never wanting there. that is taking the risk. Stand up for Jesus. The strife will not be long. This day, the noise of battle. The next, the victor's song. To those who vanquish evil, a crown of life shall be. They with the King of glory shall reign forever. Why have I chosen this? I hear the police have already issued an edict, and I must thank our chairman ODM, Mheshimiwa Alado. Hey, we are still in church, my friend. I'm talking to Alado. I'm not talking to you. I have not seen a man with more commitment to a cause in this country than Mheshimiwa Alado. Mheshimiwa, I congratulate you. So, and of course, my brother Kione, my sister, have talked to you. How many of you belong to the army of Jesus Christ? How many? I just want to see before I sing. Now, my commander-in-chief, mother, is Jesus Christ of Nazareth, not William Ruto. Okay. Bungei is taking instructions from his commander-in-chief, and he talks of ruthlessness, that he will deal with us ruthlessly. And indeed, they did when we came to Embakasi South. Mheshimiwa Mawadhe, I tried to reach you that time. You were somewhere in Mombasa. I think you wanted to fly to get here. But I tell you, we were so well received by people of Embakasi South. I've never seen more excited Kenyans believing in a cause, wanting unga to come down. But when we got to pipeline, Mheshimiwa kijana Musangi was a casualty. Alipigwa Musango. Alipigwa. Alipigwa hata risasi. And the wonderful ladies who are pouring water, na wakaimba that Catholic hymn, nisafishe. Unioshe nitakaze niwe mweupe. We composed that song here. We saw tremendous encouragement. You cannot kill that spirit of the Kenyan people. You can't. They must really accept, we must accept there's a basic problem and we must deal with it. So I now want us to stand up and sing, because